our last video, we started looking at a pattern that works well for slow tempo bossa novas. Now let's look at one pattern that works as a variation for a slow tempo. So let's use our metronome and still use at 45 BPM. That's the tempo we used on our last video. And as always, for consistency, we'll use a C6-9. That's the same chord we used on our last video, right? So the pattern goes 2, 3, 4. A very good option for a variation on the bass note would be using the note G below here, which is the 5th, right? So we go root, 5th, root, 5th, C, G, C, and now adding the pattern. You might want to start, if that becomes too complicated at first, you just start playing only one note with your thumb, just like I did a minute ago. So again, so that's a really easy rhythm, right? 1 E and 2 E and. So 4 notes for 1 beat. For consistency, we'll use the same chord progression we have been using so far. C6-9, A7, sharp 5, D minor 9, and G13. Okay. So 1 chord per bar. 2, 3, 4. Right? Remember, this is meant to be a variation, and not really to be a pattern that we would apply for a long, maybe for a whole section of a song. But it works well kind of as a glue between different patterns we might be applying. So next step then is to do 2 chords per bar, so 2 beats each chord. Now we're giving more work for our left hand, right? But the pattern for the right hand will be exactly the same. 2, 3, 4. And in this case, because we're playing at a very slow tempo, we can always practice playing 1 chord per beat. So 4 chords each bar, okay? Which will be this. 2, 3, 4. Right? that works as well. Now the next step is to practice anticipating the chords, because notice that so far we've switched chords, we have switched chords on every downbeat, right? Now we always have the option to anticipate the downbeat by a 16th, which means doing this, and I'll play one chord per bar so we can hear the anticipation on the next bar. 2, 3, 4. Now. Right? It gives a little bit more of a drive and movement to the progression. And then we can always go to the other side of the downbeat, so play the 16th after the downbeat. So let's see how that sounds. 2, 3, 4. 3. Finally, the idea is to then apply that variation in between the other patterns we learned. So I'll try and do that, and I'll start playing the pattern we studied last time, okay? 2, 3, 4. Variation. Right, so just applying that variation in the spots we feel it works, depending on the melody, depending on what everyone else will be playing, or if we're playing on our own. However we feel we want to add a little bit more of a drive to the pattern. Have fun with your guitar. Thank you, and I will see you next time then. Take care.